Hello students, I'm Anita Abraham, Associate Professor of English. Welcome to the English classroom. This is video number 24. Today's English lesson is from semester 3 of the General English curriculum prescribed by Osmania University for students of BA, BCom, BSc and BBA. Today's topic is titled Essay Writing, Argumentative Essay. If you like my video, please subscribe and press the bell icon so that you get notified of subsequent videos. Let's get started. Essay writing, argumentative essays. That's our topic for today. The process of writing essay, argumentative essay or any essay for that matter is the same as that of a discursive essay that we discussed in the last video, video 23. The basic structure remains the same. There's an introduction, the main body and the conclusion. However, the purpose of writing the argumentative essay is very different from that of the discursive essay that we discussed in detail in video number 23. However, before we move to discussing argumentative writing, argumentative essay and how to write an argumentative essay in detail, let's look at how to write an essay in general. What is essay writing? Okay, an essay is perhaps the most common form of writing that a student encounters during their academic life and later in the process of securing employment. It is therefore important for students to understand what an essay is and learn the technique of writing a well-balanced essay. Sometimes even well-written essays by students fail to meet the expectations of the examiner because they seem to lack an awareness of the requirements of the genre of essay that was assigned to them. Because there are, like we discussed, there's discursive essay, there is argumentative essay. So you should know what kind of essay are you writing and tailor make your essay to suit the kind of essay that you are assigned to write. The word essay comes into the English language from Latin through French, and it means to examine, try, test or to weigh. This etymology helps us to understand the essential quality of an essay, that an essay is an attempt to test or examine one's idea about a particular subject. So the etymology or where the word has come from, it has come to the English language from Latin via French, and it means to examine, try, test or weigh. So what does an essay do? It is an attempt to examine one's idea about a particular subject. All right. Essay writing involves a number of skills. Okay, there are a number of skills crisscrossing while you are writing an essay. What are some of them? Close reading, analysis, comprehension. Comprehension of the topic, comparison and contrast, persuasion, exposition, presentation. Essay should be concise. It should have clarity in purpose and it should have a direction. There is no room or no place in an essay for the writer's thought to wander or stray from the purpose. Okay, so you should stick to the topic and present your viewpoints, your perspectives in a clear, crisp and concise manner. Now, moving on, we know that there are two main types of essays, the discursive essay, also known as the expository essay, which we discussed in video number 23, and the argumentative essay, also known as the persuasive essay. Of course, these are the two most common genres of essay, the discursive and the argumentative essay. And in this particular lesson, we will learn about the argumentative essay. All right. Like we saw in the last video, a discursive essay is a presentation of facts, ideas on a subject in a balanced and objective way, even if the topic is debatable or a controversial one. But in the case of an argumentative essay, it requires the writer to take a stand on an issue. The purpose of the argumentative essay is to persuade the readers by presenting facts, statistics, data, evidence, etc. on a given topic. That is why it is called a persuasive essay. You're persuading your readers to accept your opinion, your viewpoint, your perspective. Okay? An argumentative essay involves research, investigation, collection of data, and literature survey, that is a survey of all the work that has been done previously, and then present your arguments in a persuasive way. Thus, the basic difference between a discursive and an argumentative essay lies in the pre-writing task. That is, in the amount of information that is required to be gathered before writing the actual essay. Because it's an argumentative essay, you must have your data, your facts, all that on your fingertips. Only after extensive study or research and weighing the different points of view can the writer of an argumentative essay arrive at a comprehensive understanding of the subject and take a clear stand on the issue. So you have to weigh all the pros and cons. You must read all the material that is available on it, all the observations and that has gone previously on it. What are the various viewpoints, perspectives on the subject, and then after understanding all that, must take a stand and then persuade the readers on the stand that you have taken and argue for your perspective or the viewpoint that you have taken. The data, evidence collected during the study, research, survey, okay, on the topic will enable the writer to present their argument forcefully and convincingly. Okay, so that's the basic difference between a discursive and an argumentative essay. So depending on what is required of you, you must write that kind of essay. Okay, so let's look at the basic difference between the discursive and the argumentative essay. The discursive essay, the purpose is to inform the reader of all the relevant issues related to the topic. So you're not taking a standpoint, you are bringing all the various perspectives that are available on the topic. But in an argumentative essay, the purpose is to persuade the reader about the writer's standpoint. So the writer does a lot of research and then takes a particular standpoint and then persuades the reader also to accept his or her standpoint. Let's look at the second difference between discursive and argumentative essay. All the sides of the argument are treated equally and presented without bias in a discursive essay. So it's a very unbiased and a very rational presentation of the opinions and viewpoints in the case of a discursive essay. But in the argumentative essay, all the sides of the argument are considered, but only one side is favored more than the other. Yes, in an argumentative essay also, you do look at all the viewpoints, but then the writer decides, okay, I'm going to take this stand and then argue for it. Okay, let's look at the next difference. In a discursive essay, the writer remains neutral, objective, and detached from the subject. And in a persuasive or argumentative essay, the writer is involved and has a personal opinion on the subject, and that is what he is persuading the others to accept. And let's look at the final difference between the two types of essays. In a discursive essay, different points related to the subject of the essay are presented sequentially, one after the other and according to their importance. Okay, so what is important, whether it is for or against, it really doesn't matter, because the writer is unbiased. Okay, he's not taking any particular standpoint. Okay, he's just giving you all the viewpoints, all the perspectives that are there on the subject. But however, in an argumentative essay, different points related to the subject of the essay are presented in a way that suits and supports the writer's line of argument. Okay, so there are different perspectives, viewpoints, but they are presented in such a way that it is favorable for, and it supports or scaffolds the writer's viewpoint. So let's look at the writing process. Any writing process involves 3 stages: the pre-writing, the writing, and then the post-writing. Okay, follow this pattern to write good and effective essays. So there is no two-way. Whatever kind of essay you're writing, you need to follow the pre-writing stage, the writing stage, and the post-writing. So let's look at the pre-writing stage. This can be split into various steps or subtasks. The first would be to think and brainstorm on the given or selected topic. Never start writing off. You must think, you must brainstorm. The step 2 would be to jot down the ideas that emerge from thinking and brainstorming. And step 3 would be to make an outline of the structure and select the ideas that would go into the introduction, the body, and the conclusion. Okay, and you may label the ideas jotted down as table of content. So you must be very organized. Writing an essay is not as easy as people think it is, that you just are given a topic and you just start writing. Okay, a lot of thought process also goes into it. Okay, now let's look at the 3 parts of the essay. The introduction, it should clearly state the topic to be discussed and often begin with a topic sentence. Okay, so you must have a topic sentence, and you must state in the beginning itself what is the topic that's going to be discussed. The body, it states the points and exemplifies and justifies them 1 or 3 in separate paragraphs. Okay, and then the conclusion, summarize or conclude by restating your ideas from paragraph where you introduced your topic. All right. Then step 4 would be to check the following: that all the points you wanted to make have been included. There are no points that are not necessary, irrelevant. There are no repetitive ideas. Think again, cross-check, and delete if necessary. Okay. Now then you come to this was all the pre-writing stage. Now you come to the writing stage. That is the first draft. Here are some useful tips to write effective essays. Use a style or tone that is appropriate to the kind of essay that's that is being written. Okay, for example, if it's a discursive essay, it's a presentation of ideas. Okay, so your facts, so you present your facts in and ideas in a logical and neutral and balanced tone. Okay, if it's an argumentative essay, then you will present it you will use your personal opinion, viewpoint. It will be more personal. All right, then you always use an impersonal, formal tone while writing. All right, moving on. Avoid contractions while writing, like aren't, he's, etc. Short forms, idioms, colloquial expressions, all these should be avoided in an essay. Okay, avoid strong emotional languages like I love English, I hate exams. Avoid generalizations, all students are lacking writing skills. So these are certain things that we should avoid. And also avoid cliches, proverbs, etc. Okay, use reliable sources of information for reference. Just don't say someone said or just make up a book or a quotation. Be neutral and make general statement even if one differs in opinion. All right. Use linkers, connectives, discourse markers to bring out logic. Connect the sentences and the paragraphs. Use, if appropriate, a direct thought-provoking question or a quotation as a striking statement to begin an essay. But a lot of students use irrelevant quotations, irrelevant questions. It should be, relevant. That's very, very important. And then moving on to the post-writing stage. After the first draft, do some basic editing, spell check, okay, grammar, vocabulary, sentence structure, etc. Check for the topic sentence, check for cohesion, effectiveness, okay, through how you have used connectors. All that is very, very important. Okay, that's where the check against the outline that you had in stage 1 and draft of stage 2 to check if whether all the points are included. Check the length, if there is a word limit, then the style points covered, add, delete, make, and then write the final draft. Okay, so this post writing stage is very important. That's when you are fine tuning your essay. Keep the following points in mind while writing an argumentative essay. Even though in an argumentative essay you're taking a stand on the issue, the writer needs to present both the sides of the argument. In fact, it is good to present as many differing views on the topic as possible. Considering and presenting different points of view on the topic shows the writer's knowledge as well as maturity. Therefore, both pros and cons of an issue, argument, point, or debate will be included. And like we said earlier, yes, we were talking about the useful tips for writing effective essays. Use a style and tone appropriate for the kind of essay being written, and use impersonal and formal style. This is very important whether it's a discursive essay or if it's an argumentative essay. And therefore, when we present both pros and cons of the issue, argument, point, under debate, it shows that you are well read and that you are willing to, even though you have taken a standpoint, you are aware of the other perspectives that exist. And then the conclusion of an argumentative essay, unlike that of a discursive essay, is not a restatement of the idea. After presenting the ideas that are conflicting both for and against in the main body of the essay, the writer addresses the topic and issue in the final paragraph and makes their position clear. So unless you don't present both sides of the coin, it is very difficult to do your concluding paragraph where you are asserting where you stand, what is your standpoint. Now look at the structure of an argumentative essay. While the basic structure of an argumentative essay is similar to that of the discursive essay, the following points need to be kept in mind. In the introductory paragraph, the writer may start with a general statement on the given topic, that is the topic sentence, but at the end of the paragraph, the argument should be narrowed down to ensure that the thesis or the topic statement is in alignment with the writer's position. Okay, so that's very important. By the end of the introductory paragraph, you are already giving an inkling to the readers what your standpoint is on the topic. And in the body of the essay, from the second paragraph onwards, the writer can present all the cons in one paragraph and refute them with all the pros in the next paragraph, or the other way around. You do the pros first and the cons. The role of linkers, cohesive markers is important in effecting a smooth transition of ideas within the paragraph and among the paragraphs. Otherwise, it can be very chaotic and confusing. Okay, so be very careful on how you are writing an argumentative essay. And then the conclusion should be logical and effective and should rise out of the arguments provided in the preceding paragraph. So you should work your essay in such a way that you are coming to the conclusion and presenting what your standpoint is. Even though it is an argumentative essay, the writer's tone should remain logical and balanced, like I said earlier. The writer should not use an emotional or personal tone. You are taking a stance, but you cannot be emotional and personal, except for expressing individual opinions or clarifying the stand taken. Okay, so there you can be, you will have to be personal, but then you cannot be emotional, you cannot be illogical and imbalanced in your presentation of ideas. Look at the possible structures of an argumentative essay. The first structure would be, para 1 would be introduction, para 2 would be supporting argument 1, para 3 would be supporting argument 2, para 4 would be opposing argument or arguments with refutations, and para 5 would be conclusion. So we are following that 5-para system for the essay, which is the ideal thing. There's another way to do it, way to write an argumentative, which is structure 2. There is the introduction, then opposing argument or arguments with refutation in para 2, then supporting argument 1 and supporting argument 2 in para 3 and 4, and then conclusion. All right. So this is the second type of structure for argumentative essays. Now let's look at another way of writing argumentative essay, which we can call structure 3. Para 1 would be your introduction. Para 2 would be opposing argument and refutation. Then paragraph 3 would be opposing argument 2 and refutation, and paragraph 4 would be opposing argument and refutation, and then paragraph 5 would be conclusion. So there are various ways to do this. Okay, so you could choose what what the topic lends itself to, or what you are comfortable with, and choose one of these structures and write your essay. Now let's read the following argumentative essay and observe how it has been written. Okay, it's called Games and Violence. Let's look at the introductory paragraph. I'll just read it out for you. Introduction. Computer games are seriously caught the attention of mass media, and nowadays every channel considers its duty to remind people how much damage these games cause to children and adults. The increasing amount of games with violent scenes shocks the society and makes it very aware of them. It is common knowledge that the violent games cause violence in people. This fact is not even doubted by the majority of people. Every other person says that the reason lies in games being too close to reality. The opinion that games make violent actions normal for players and therefore make the players pitiless can often be heard. In this case, the game is the cause of violence, and the act of violence by itself is a consequence. And can real life violence exist in the reality of a game? Is the transfer of the definition of violence with all its peculiarities from one world to another justified only according to the external similarities of these two worlds? Okay, so look how the essay is being developed. Games and violence. Games originally are entertainment. Contemporary games are very realistic, and for this reason they are a source of great experience for the player and develop the imagination. Games are entertainment and even more than that. In addition, statistics of the New York University led by Green and Bavelier claim that the player preferring active games get an improvement of some type of brain activity related to the processing of visual information. Look how they have brought in statistics. Okay, references, study. Okay, a reference to a study that was conducted by NYU. In particular, game players cope with problems of simultaneously several moving objects at average level of 30% better than people who do not play violent behavior in reality. Okay. The gaming violent experience may not be the cause of making important decisions concerning problems in real life. A game is an abstraction. A player gets abstract tasks and acts according to abstract rules. Games are also the possibility to however a person wants to be and rest from the outside world for some time. But what if a person gets so excited with the game scenes that he becomes violent in reality? Then it proves that games cause people to become violent. Let us stop for a moment right at this point. Those who do not participate in this time of activity usually make the conclusion of presence of violence in the game world. And then moving on, we have the conclusion. Nobody will ever hear this kind of statement from those who play, from those who know the rules of the game and understand that it is just a virtual world. A psychologically healthy person will never confuse or connect these two different worlds. A game is a virtual world with visual images very similar to human. These images represent themselves nothing but simple playing obstacles. A game may potentially give the opportunity to destroy the obstacles but may not be destroyed according to the rules, but it is more about personal choice whether you do it or not. This leads us to the conclusion that violence is not a consequence but the cause. People who are originally prone to violence may get irritated by games and perform violence in the real world. But in this case, violence in games is a simple justification of the violent nature of the player. This is taken from Games and Violence. It is taken from the source. I have mentioned the source. Okay, it was taken from there, and now let us go on. So it was about games and violence, the relationship and the standpoint that the writer has taken. In the above sample essay, what can we observe? Let us analyze it. In paragraph 1, topic, sentence, thesis, statement was presented in the introduction. The increasing amount of games with violence scenes shocks the society and makes it aware of them. It is already common knowledge that violent games cause violence in people. So you know what is games and violence was the topic, and the thesis statement has made it very, very clear. Okay, now look at paragraph 2. Facts and arguments about the game and is presented. Entertainment, it is a stimulus to the brain, and the New York University research findings are presented in paragraph 2. What was done in paragraph 3? Other arguments about reality versus the virtual world, and the clinching argument there. People who are originally prone to violence may get irritated by games and perform violence in the real world. Okay, so that is what is happening. And then 4th and 5th was the conclusion. All right, and then let's wrap up argumentative essay. We saw how what an essay was, how an argumentative essay is different from a discursive essay, what goes into writing an argumentative essay, and we looked at a sample. All right, and now let us wrap up by quickly going over through some points that we must remember while writing an essay. Okay, choose an apt title for the essay if it is not provided. If you're provided with a title, then you go ahead, but if you have not provided, then you have to provide an apt title for the essay if not provided. The title is important because it conveys the main idea of the essay. Brainstorm, prepare an outline and develop the thesis statement. These are the most important preliminary steps, that is brainstorming, okay, thinking, and then preparing and outlining and developing a thesis, okay, what you're going to say. Use linkers to connect ideas within the essay. Start and end, if you wish, with a quotation, a statement, a rhetorical question to make it impressive. But then it should be, always remember that it should be relevant. All right. Remember the 3 stages of writing: the pre-writing stage, the writing stage, and the post-writing stage. Get your facts right. Okay. But if you're quoting statistics, data, survey, be very, very clear about that, the facts being right, even if it is a quotation or an example. All right, so some historical fact or anything, the fact should be correct. Be balanced, unemotional, and impersonal in tone. Even though it's an argumentative essay and you're taking a stance, you have to be balanced and impersonal in tone. Use simple language, appropriate vocabulary, and eliminate grammatical errors. Spelling and grammar is a no-no. Okay, you have to take care of that. Use separate paragraphs, generally one paragraph for one idea and for next for another idea, and then link them. Use the 5 paragraph. One is introduction, the last is conclusion, and 3 for the body. Pay attention to editing in the post-writing stage. All right, so very, very important. Otherwise, you will have a lot of mistakes, or you would have, whether it is grammatical, spelling, or you would have missed out important points. You can rearrange in the post-writing stage and then get to writing your final draft. So I hope students, you realized how important it is to to write essays well. It's an important skill, writing skill, and you must follow the the writing and then the post writing stages, and then also go through all these points, so that you are not making any mistakes while writing an essay. It should flow smoothly, one idea connected to the other idea, linked, very cohesive, and it should make easy reading. So pick up topics and then start writing. So once you start writing, and then you please give it to your teachers, they will correct it for you, and they will give you inputs, they will give you feedback, so that you become a good writer. Thank you so much. Take care and stay safe.